Street sexual harassment is an everyday reality in our society. Here's how it changed one girl's life. I invite you to listen to Ananya's story. Bye, Ma. See you in the evening, yelled Ananya across the hallway. Bye, sweetie. Be careful, huh? Said her mother. With her tote bag slung across her shoulder, Ananya sprinted out the front door, the gate, and to the bus stop. It took her exactly 10 minutes to get to the bus stop, but there was no knowing when the bus would arrive. She was dressed in her favorite outfit, jeans and a white shirt. The white was the only thing that would keep the heat out in a city like Chennai, where summer never ended. Ananya looked at her watch impatiently and wondered how long the bus would take today. She spotted one in the distance, but that was headed in a different direction. There was another that came by, which would have stopped outside college, but it was full and overflowing. I must get into the next bus, regardless of whether it's empty or not, mentally decided Ananya. She kept her eyes peeled as she fanned her face with her hands and drummed her thighs with her fingers. And then, there it was, bus number 9, which stopped just outside college. She hauled herself over the first step and got in, and she was welcomed with a Urvashi, Urvashi by a group of boys. These boys are really jobless, scowled Ananya. And as if in response to that, they came up with another popular refrain. Why this kolaveri dee? Which rascal could that be now? Fumed Ananya silently. The bus was crowded since it was rush hour and there was just enough standing room. Ananya grabbed one of the handles and tried not to focus on the numerous irritants, the crowd, her clothes getting crumpled, and the body odor, yuck, from some of the other commuters. Meanwhile, the conductor came along with his ticket. That done, Ananya tried to focus on the day ahead in college. And as the bus hurtled over the numerous potholes and speed breakers, she thought she felt somebody grazing against her. Am I imagining this? Or is it because the bus is so crowded? She thought. And then, as if to confirm her worst suspicions, as the bus negotiated the next speed breaker, whoever it was had almost fallen on her and half embraced her. She turned back to look to see who it was, but the prime suspect turned the other way. Cheapskate, she cursed under her breath. The accidental brushing continued on and off throughout the journey. By the time Ananya reached college, she was very violated and deeply traumatized. Her bestie, Shail, greeted her with her usual ebullience. Hi, Ananya. What's up? Why are you looking so glum? She asked. Shail, you will never believe what happened to me on that bus today, said Ananya. Well, let me see. You bumped into HOD, ma'am. Even that would have been far more pleasanter. You'll never be able to guess. Shail, I was repeatedly groped by a creep on that bus today, she said. Come on, Ananya, chill. These things happen, right, on our buses, said Shail. Shail, this was sick. It was not once, but 3 times. I hated it, said Ananya. I tell you what, Ananya, next time you board that bus, go and find a seat where there are respectable looking men and ladies seated, or move right up in front as close to the driver's seat as possible. Or better still, if something like this were to happen, just scream sexual harassment, help, help. It's only because we suffer in silence that these guys get so brazen about it, said Shail. I know I won't put up with it again, Shail, said Ananya, but I'm really worried about how I'm going to handle this at home. If my parents hear about this, they will really freak out. And the first thing they will say is, stop wearing those jeans and shirts to college. And my dad will never let me ride the bike. Ananya, don't they know that these things happen in our buses? And what's that got to do with what we wear? Asked Shail. Shail, you don't know. That's how it is in my home. But tell me, isn't there some organization to which we could go and complain about things like these? Asked Ananya. Well, you could go to the police or to the all-women's police station. But then these guys are really crazy and they might attempt something stupid like attempting suicide, or they will stalk you till you succumb to their moves. And the police might even suggest marriage. Just ignore the guy and I'm sure he'll go away. But if this continues, then you and I will board that bus one day together and we will fix that fellow. Or we will go to an NGO which works in this area, said Shail. Gee, Shail, you're so sweet. What would I do without you? But tell me, what's with these guys that they can't see a lady as a person in her own right, not some object to lust over? Asked Ananya. Ananya, there's no point in us wasting time debating all these issues. It's got to do with the way these boys are raised around all these patriarchal notions about where a woman belongs and how she must be put in her place if she doesn't come around. Plus, they are fed on the exact same diet in the form of TV serials and movies, said Shail. That evening, much as Ananya wanted, she couldn't bring up the topic with either of her parents. I am going to handle this on my own, she decided. The next morning, she left for college earlier than usual. Luck was on her side, for a bus came within minutes. She quickly boarded it and scanned the commuters to see if the chap was around. But she couldn't spot him. Thank God, she thought. But 5 minutes into the journey, with people alighting and boarding, she didn't realize that the guy was right behind her, and he was back to his usual tricks. By the time Ananya alighted, she felt clearly revolted. She felt angry with herself for not reacting. I should have just grabbed his hand and held it up for all to see, like that college student once did. But I just couldn't bring myself to touching his ugly, dirty hand, thought Ananya. She sat through class like a zombie. Shail texted to say that she was going for an intercollegiate debate and wouldn't be coming to college that day, which made it even worse. Although Ananya was physically present in class, she mentally replayed the events of that morning in her mind and chalked out a strategy. She would talk to her mother that evening, and from the next day onwards, she would either take the bus or ride the bike if her dad allowed her to. That evening, she told her mother that she wanted to talk. Talk to me? Asked her mother quizzically. Ma, from tomorrow, I'm not taking the bus, stated Ananya plainly. Why? Is there any issue? Asked her mother. Ma, I don't like the crowd in the bus. Well, that will always be there, Ananya, said her mother. Ma, can I please take the bike? Bike? With all those road accidents, the bus is far safer. Ma, please, I promise to wear my helmet, pleaded Ananya. Let me talk to your father about this, said her mother, closing the discussion. Dad, as usual, would have none of it. Ananya, we've been through this before. You will take the bus to college and that's it, he said. Ananya couldn't hold back any longer. Dad, the reason I'm asking to take that bike is because I was groped for the last 2 days by a guy on the bus. What? How dare he? Scoundrel! What is this world coming to? Hollered her father. Ananya, you were groped on a moving bus in broad daylight by a guy? Why didn't you scream and shout? Weren't there any ladies who could come to your rescue? If I had been on that bus, I'd have given that bugger one tight slap, screamed her mother hysterically. Ma, I didn't want to create a scene on that bus. Besides, I was somehow hoping it would stop, said Ananya. Who is this loafer? Asked her father. I don't know, Pa. My friend said it was better not to complain, because then we'd have to make repeated visits to the police station, and then people will think we are the ones who did something wrong. Okay then, take the bike. But you know the rules, huh? Said her father. Because of some good-for-nothing, my heart will be in my mouth every evening till my daughter returns, said her mother, lamenting her plight. The next day onwards, Ananya rode the bike to college. She was dressed like a dacoit, helmet, dark glasses, dupatta tied over her face and securely in place. Things seemed to be under control for a while. It seemed as if the guy had vanished from her life. And then one day, as Ananya was returning from college, she heard another bike constantly speeding and revving up behind her. She tried to keep her calm and focus on the road ahead. Almost at the same time, she caught sight of the face of the biker in the rearview mirror and instantly recognized it. And before she knew it, he had cut across in front of her in a split second. The next thing Ananya remembered is waking up in a hospital room. She had been thrown off the bike and had landed on the road. The helmet had saved her life, but she had suffered multiple fractures and had broken her right wrist and her right knee. This meant that all her plans of giving the IIM entrance exams went out of the window. It also meant a long road to recovery. Surgery, plate fixing, physio, rehab. 6 months went by. Her parents had run up huge hospital bills, but they were so thankful that their daughter was alive and with them. Ananya used this time to blog about her experiences and focus on the larger issue of women's safety. Fortunately for her, a lawyer activist who read her blog came forward to offer her services to bring the culprit to book. Although he had vamoosed from that scene on that fateful day, with Ananya's description and inputs from other commuters who traveled that route, he was zeroed in upon. The case is going on as we speak. When and how justice will be delivered is anybody's guess. Ananya paid a heavy price for no fault of her own, except for the fact that she was a young and smart woman who was chasing her dreams. And Ananya is not alone. There are many other Ananyas in our society who suffer a similar fate.